Hey all, it's Charlie here, and I'm sitting down with one of my favourite musical discoveries of the year. It is the Sydney-based sweetheart Milly McPherson. How are we doing?
I'm good, Charlie. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I've honestly had your debut album, Avoca, on repeat. I've literally I don't want to check the stats because it's going to be scary. Can you walk us a bit through this album and tell us about Avoca?
Oh my God, I would love to. Yeah, I guess it's 10 songs. Two that were specifically written for the concept of the album, which was Avoca and then So Good on the Other Side. But the rest of them are really like a portfolio of all the songs that we've made and performed in the last couple of years as like our first proper body of work, I guess, to introduce where I want to go from here is pretty much how I would say it is. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice representation of me and the genres I like writing and creating. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And you can really see it feels a bit like a puzzle. Like everything fits, but there's so many different pieces, which as an audience member and as a fan, I find that so cool.
Oh, thank you. I never thought of it like that, but I really like that. If it feels complete by the end, then it's definitely what I was hoping for. So perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how does it feel? It's been out for like a few weeks now, almost a month. That's terrifying.
Yeah,
How does it
I know.
feel to have it out in the world and have people listening in and telling you about their experience with the album?
It feels really, really great. I think like 2 weeks ago, I would say that it was feeling a bit terrifying and very vulnerable. But now like it's hit a point where things have like settled and I went and listened to it like properly for the first time since we released it the other day. And I was like, oh my God, I released an album? Like
Huh.
my dog, my dog's barking. I'm sorry, a storm has just hit,
Oh
like Joyce.
no.
So my dog might bark, but that's okay because she's gonna be here. But anyway, yeah, it feels really, really good is the main point. Sorry. Yeah, it's been really positively received by people, and it's also helped me, yeah, like people like you, like people that I don't know if our paths would have crossed in like a different in it with a different release. This has been like the first time where I've released something where there's been all these different people from different areas of like Australia being interested and wanting to know more, which is really cool because that's never happened to me before. So it feels pretty great. Yeah.
Honestly, it's just the start. Let me just say that.
Thanks. If you say
But yeah,
so, I believe you.
oh, 100%. You need to trust me on this one.
Watch the space. Watch the space.
Heck
It's
yeah.
happening.
And I want to say, Avoca wasn't a solo effort. You've got your amazing band who complement you in everything, especially there's some gorgeous harmonies on so many of these tracks. I love it. Can you talk us through what it's like working with your band?
Oh, yes. I love my band. They're my favorite people. Well, the backing vocals are something that the band never had before we went into the studio.
Hmm.
So that was a super new thing, and that was all from Audrey Baker, who has been my close friend for a couple years, and we've always wanted to somehow find a way where she could be a part of the band.
Hmm.
And she's just an amazing singer. To me, like she's a lead singer and should be a solo artist, and it's definitely coming, in my opinion. It's gonna happen. And she's doing it already, but like the power that she has in her voice, we never knew if it would work in my genre because
Hmm.
she's jazz focused. And day one of when we went to the studio, she transformed every song with the vocal parts that she wrote. It was ridiculous. But so I guess I really love the band because I write the songs myself and then I bring it to a rehearsal and let them do whatever they want with it. And then we find something that we all like and that we all feel connected to in some way. And that's definitely it's definitely a testament to them because it kind of shows that we all get along.
Yeah.
Because it all does sound quite cohesive in the end, which I do really, really like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, I love that so much. One thing I really wanted to say is that I adore your songwriting style so much, especially on certain songs like Religious and Weather, which are like two of my favorites from this album. It feels like I'm being sucked into a movie or a novel, which is like such a talent to be able to make that feeling. Could you walk us through your typical songwriting process?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. I try to have like a storyteller aspect to my songs, and they always end up being the one that people resonate with the most, which is so interesting and something I've learned with this release. Yeah, my writing process is I have like, I wonder if any of them are nearby, but I have like I've got a bunch of books like this everywhere in my room. I have like five that are all currently being used at the same time. And I usually am just sitting with my guitar and trying to write some type of progression is usually where my writing starts. And then it's really more about like the feeling that the progression gives me for what the song's going to be about. So I never really like experience something and I'm like, I'm going to write a song about that. It's more like as the writing starts, I usually tap into something, and then I'm like, oh, this song's actually about this thing that happened in my life. Good to know. So I connect it to my real world, but I only work that out once it's done. I never really realize that I'm doing it.
Honestly, I love that because you hear so many people like, I experienced this and I knew I had to write a song about it. That's such a
Yeah.
cool way to go about it.
I think the people that are able to do that are very self-aware people. Like they're tapped in,
Mm.
and I would love to be that. But I honestly learned so much about myself through writing. It's when I really am able to like reflect on things without thinking too hard is kind of how I would think about it. I guess no, writing I think a lot, but not about my life, more about whether these words will go together. But yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. I wish I had that process because when people say that, you can really hear it in the music. But it's really fun that I can kind of like work it out after and then hope that I can make that kind of convincing for an audience as well. So it's just like an alternate way to do it, but with the same goal at the end, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, everyone has their own way. I remember like in high school music classes, they'd be like, this is the way to write a song. And it's like, no, there's not one way. I really wanted to then ask if these songs, like you're realizing things about yourself once you've written it. How does it feel then and what's the process in knowing that yes, you want to share it with the public and you want to let your band know, let the world know, let your family know what you're feeling and going through in these songs that you didn't even realize were
It's
about
a
these feelings?
big question. I'm honestly a big mouth, so I do tell people so much. Like
Valid,
I'm
me
like,
too, I get it.
yeah, I'm loud and proud. You know, someone's wronged me, I'm loud and proud. If I've made a big mistake, I will tell way too many people about it just to be like, I acknowledge that I have made a mistake. And so I guess that kind of the world of like intimacy, like writing about like intimate moments is something I find hard to feel comfortable. So I think like that's probably my limit right now with writing is like going that far into like my like life. Like there's definitely you can feel that there's like a boundary of like how much I do want to share. Like certain I guess like there's just like things that happen in your life where you're like, oh, that like that's a line. Like that's a line in a
Yeah.
song. But it feels a little bit too honest. And I never want to make people feel like targeted in my music or that it's necessarily about them. So I try to be more vague as I can be. But honestly, like if you know me and you've been around me in certain life situations, you can hear it in the music. Like, you know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. So, um, yeah, I try to be vague, but there's only, it's only like, I'm not going to be that vague because I also do want to like tug on people's heartstrings a little bit.
Mm.
So, yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I've got my limits, I guess.
I love that so much. It's like, you know, this song is about you, but no one else needs to know.
Exactly. No,
Hmm.
exactly. Yeah. And if anyone ever told me, like, if anyone ever came up to me and they're like, oh, so that song's about me, I'd be like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
And just make them feel embarrassed
Yeah.
because it's none of their business.
Yeah. And then it's like they feel like they had the big ego by thinking it was about them. And you can just sit there and be like, we'll never
I know
know.
more than you. Exactly.
Ah, I love it. And also, speaking of things that are fun and exciting, you made your big screen debut with your first music video with this album. How was the experience of like filming that and putting it all together?
Yeah, I loved that music video. That was done by Sophie Roper, who is my like one of my best friends and then also my producer's girlfriend. And so she's basically constantly involved in all of it. Like she's basically in the band, just doesn't happen to have an instrument. And we have a couple people like that who are like in the
Mm.
band, but they happen to not be on stage, but they're in the band, you
Yeah,
know?
it's a
Um,
family.
it's a big old family, and
Mm.
she's one of those people. And so we wanted to do for our first music video. Me and Sunny, the producer and drummer, we decided that we were going to take a camcorder when we recorded, and just film throughout like the week of the recording because it was the first time we'd ever recorded an album. It was in
Mm.
like a it was at Forbes Street Studios, which is owned by Universal Music, so it all felt really fancy. And we felt very much like fish out of water, felt
Hmm.
like this was a crazy experience to have. So we just had to film it because we knew it would be important, but we didn't film it with the intent that it would be a music video. We didn't really know what we'd do with it. And then I decided that I wanted to make a music video for each song on the album, which is slowly going to start rolling out. And working with different directors on each one, which is fun. And we thought that that would be an awesome place to start. And so watched the footage, and she was like, "I can make a good video to this. I can make something very adorable." And we didn't know if we'd release it, and then we showed it to everyone that recorded the album with us, and everyone, all of our responses were like, "This is so cute. We're all so happy." And so it just felt right to release first. So it was really nice. It was mainly more for us than anyone else. The first one was very much about all of us. So it was really nice.
Honestly, that's so bad. Like, you've got to have that moment where it's like, yeah, we actually did this. Like, we can point to it and say, like, that was us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was very unreal, the whole thing. So it felt nice to capture it in a video. It was pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's so wholesome. Like, oh, so good.
They're wholesome people, the band. So they all they all loved it as much as I did, I reckon. Even if they're quiet about it. They all seemed very happy to watch it. So yeah, it was very cute. Soph does a perfect job as well with like anything she touches. So she like hand drew there's like the day stamps in it,
Mm.
and she like drew the design for each one for each of the days, and it was really beautiful, the things that she like felt were connected to me, and like the imagery that she felt right. Like there's one where she literally drew Snoopy, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. Which is like a little, I've got Snoopy on my bag and I can take him with me. Um, yeah, and so it's really nice to have your friends be able to add their art to it as well, which is really nice. Yeah, so I love that she found a way to put her art into it too. Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh, that it sounds so special. Honestly, I'm just wanting to sit down and watch the video again.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
I love it. It makes me so happy.
And now I'm jumping from what sounds like one of your favorite memories from the album to one of my favorite songs from the album because I would love to quickly chat about Bus Song. Such
Okay,
like
I love
a
that.
phenomenal track. I anyone who knows me will know that I am like a raging Aries and I love any moment to get a little yell and like a little tale of public transport fury. Yes, I love it. It is like it was made for me, and it's like such a way when I was like, okay, bus song, interesting title, and I'm just like, no, this is my song. Like,
Oh my God,
how
I love that.
how does it feel to get all your rage out through tracks like this and like putting the dodgy people in their place?
I love singing that song. It's so awesome. It does like even though the lyrics, yeah, are a bit dark, like I have a
Mm,
smile on my face as I sing the entire thing. Um, it's so fun. The second the song starts, like the guitar lick at the start, like I'm like amped up. I'm ready to go. I love it. That was completely a really like a song that I wrote really, really quickly.
mm,
Um, it was a bit of a rant that I wrote down and then turned into a song and took to the band. And our old guitarist, Oliver Hitchin,
mm,
came up with that guitar line, which is very him because he's in his own band called Demolition Man. And
mm,
you hear that guitar part, you can really hear it in their music too. And it was perfect. It was really cool to be able to blend because my band, a lot of them are punk musicians. So it was cool
mm.
to find a punk-ish song that they love and I love and that we could all perform together. So it feels really awesome performing it because they all get so into it, which is so much fun.
Honestly, like when you listen to it, you can imagine the live energy from it, and it kind of like elevates the experience of listening to the song. You know, and it's like you can see it. Like you don't want to see the lyrics in your head because it's not pretty, but like see like the live performance sort of thing. So I feel like I can honestly like close my eyes and see a live show right then because just the energy, the spitefulness, you just feel it all, and I truly love this song. I think it is my favorite. Even though I've been listening to Weather more recently, I still think Bus Song is my favorite.
I love that. That makes me happy. I didn't know how it would go,
Mm.
because it's so, very different to any of the other songs I've put out. So I didn't know if anyone would like it. I was like, oh, I don't know if anyone's gonna like this one, but it was a lot of work and it sounds good, so let's release it. Let's just do it anyway.
Okay.
And it was
It was
so
worth
cool.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love that song. I think it's a weird song and I like that. I like that it's a little bit weird. It's
Mm.
like angry, but it's just a bit odd, which I really
You've
enjoy.
got to have it.
I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I love that one. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It reminds me a lot of one of my favorite bands is a non-based duo called Cry Club. That song, like, it had a lot of like Cry Club energy to me because like it just does. And that's I think what made it click so much is it's like so many of these songs I can see like different potential songs they sound like different vibes they are inspired by. Did you have any particular vibes or any particular inspirations for this album?
The main inspirations were The Preachers
Mm,
and Florence the Machine. Absolutely, Florence the Machine. And a lot of people say Courtney Barnett, but I
mm,
actually didn't listen to a lot of Courtney Barnett for this album. That was definitely like the main influence for the first song we put out called Take Me.
mm.
But I would say that people are hearing a lot of Courtney Barnett influence, but I didn't aim for that this time round. So it's kind of nice that that comes back into it. But mainly my storytelling style writing comes from listening to a lot of Paul Kelly when I was younger. It's a huge part of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So many like of my favorite songwriters always come back to saying like it was the Paul Kelly influence, and you can really see it. I love that so
Yeah.
much.
I love Paul Kelly.
And speaking of iconic Australian musicians, I'd love to finish off our chat by having a sneak peek into your playlist. And you're nodding your head, you know what's coming. I'd love to see which artists you've been listening to and loving, which like Aussie acts or more local artists.
Let me get my stats up for you,
Yes.
shall we? Let's see what it says on my what am I
We're gonna have
recently
like the accurate number of streams.
Yes, I'm listening. So Aussie artists.
Hmm.
I'm loving Stella Donnelly.
Mm-hmm.
Stella Donnelly's up there. I don't think Always is Australian, but maybe they are. But
Okay.
ignore me on that one. Just ignore me. And I realize my friend has also been using my Spotify, so that kind of messes it up. But Katie Kirby is amazing, like actually amazing. Um, and Maya Jelavic,
Mm-hmm.
every release. And you recently interviewed her as well. But all of her last two releases are so good. Yeah, there's even better stuff coming. So
Ooh.
I love knowing. And also at the end, Maya also is in Georgia Mulligan's band, and Georgia Mulligan also I've been listening to her recent release on Heaven a lot, which is criminal because I know them both, so I'm like their secret big fan. But those two really are like something pretty amazing. So
Mm.
I would definitely say them. And then also weirdly Tame Impala just
Okay.
recently. Aussie shout out,
Yeah.
been giving him a red hot go. I don't know why. It's been the weather. I've just been listening to a lot of it. Um,
Honestly valid.
yeah, that's the top artist that it says on my phone. That's what
I
I've
love
got.
that. There's like a bit of versatility there with Tame Impala, but that is a great snapshot. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
And yeah, thank you again so much for making the time to chat through all this like thunderstorm and chaos we've been given today. I am so grateful we've gotten to chat all things Avoca because one of my favorite albums of the year and like some of my favorite artists have released albums this year. Like artists I've loved since I was like a little kid. That's actually scary to say. But like your album's up there in my top albums of the year. And yeah, it's
Thank
halfway through the year, but like I have a feeling it's gonna stay.
I reckon. I reckon. Thank you. That is a very nice thing to say, considering Addison Rae released an album. So,
Oh my god, I've as much Addison Rae I know is Cub Sport covering Diet Pepsi.
yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at too.
Honestly, and that's all we need.
That's fine. We're in the right place. I think it's fine. Cub
When
Sport deserves it. Deserves the
yeah,
support.
when they do the Addison Rae cover tour, I'll be front row.
Absolutely, I'll be there. I love Cub Sport.
Oh, some of my
Amazing.
favorites, absolute favorites.
Oh my God, I love it. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for loving the album.
Yes. Thank you for making the album.
Of course. And thank you for interviewing me.